Good evening, everyone. I want to apologize. Google Hangouts was down until just about 2 minutes ago. So this is the first I have been on. I've been trying since 7:30 tonight. So I want to apologize for that. That was something that was out of my control. So and it affected everybody. There were a lot of people that were upset about this. So want to thank you guys for hanging in there. I know it was kind of crazy. We were going to start at 10:45 tonight. Then, with pretty much everything being told to us about the release, I decided to go ahead. We'll start it at 8. Marcus and Ron should be joining us. I dropped the link in the description. Marcus is getting a little bit of dinner, and he'll join us shortly. And I'm hopeful Ron being able to join us shortly as well. And again, thank you guys so much for hanging in there. I really appreciate that. I did not count on this tonight. I'll tell you that right now. We got a lot to talk about tonight. The Osmo Action had a firmware update, and it's an important firmware update. Mavic Air on sale at a major retailer. We're going to talk about that tonight. We're going to talk about the release, what it is, show you some pictures if you haven't already seen them, and talk about pricing. It will go live at 10:30 p.m. tonight on their website. That's why there's a 10:30 p.m. kind of a thing. So first of all, we're going to get started talking about the Osmo Action. Now, you guys, I don't know if you saw it recently or not, I finally got my video up. Now I'm going to welcome people. I know Marcus is eating dinner, but welcome, Marcus. Art's in the house. Steve Carpenter's here. Drone Shots is here. And again, thank you guys so much for hanging in there with me. I really appreciate that. And by the way, I apologize. One of my teeth got chipped. I got an appointment with the dentist next week. I know I'm going to need a crown there. Thankfully, a crown and not to get it pulled. So, wish me a little bit of a bankroll to get it taken care of, because that's pretty much what I'm going to need. So, okay. So we're going Osmo Action update. All right. Firmware update. It came out yesterday, I believe, and it's an important one. One of the things that people had been complaining about with the Osmo Action. Now, see what happens. And you should be familiar when you're filming long segments, in your Phantom or your Mavic 2 or whatever drone, DJI chops it apart and, it shifts over to another file. Well, it's kind of the same way on the Osmo Action. And usually with 4K 30, it's in about 5-minute chunks is what's going on here. Okay. Now, it goes 5 minutes, it goes 5 minutes, it goes 5 minutes. What was happening was when it was a long stream, okay, down this end, the audio was getting out of sync with the video. It wasn't lined up. And a lot of people had noticed that. And it was something that DJI was able to take care of. So, I mean, that's a huge update. If you have an Osmo Action, make sure you go ahead and do that update ASAP, especially if you're shooting long segments with that. It's absolutely critical. That was the most significant thing from this update, but it was huge because a lot of people, when you're out there filming, you're filming long segments, and you get home, you hook it up to your PC, you download it, and then you listen to the end and it's out of sync, and it's just like, oh, and a lot of times, I mean, I know Adobe Premiere, you can probably try to sync up sound, but syncing up sound is one of the 7 deadly sins, in my opinion. I don't know about that. So, okay. All right. So with all that being said, one of the things that people have been talking about, recently, we're gonna get to the DJI, release event, not really event, but we're gonna talk about that here in just a few. One of the things that I also wanted to talk about tonight too was, we're seeing a lot of action regarding, the sale. DJI Sale has really spurned a lot of interest. I can tell you personally because, with my affiliate links, I'm getting a lot of clicks and a lot of action on that. And one of the things, a major retailer came out and instead of just $120 off, it's $250 off. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Let's go ahead and do that here. Okay. DJI Mavic Air folding quadcopter gets $250 discount down to new low at $549. Okay. Target is currently offering the DJI Mavic Air drone and Onyx Black for $549 shipped in cart. Normally selling for $799, it's currently discounted to $679 at retailers like B&H, Best Buy, and DJI as part of the company's summer sale. That's good for an extra 20% off and drops the price down to the lowest we've seen. And as you know, Mavic Air features 4K video recording, HDR compatible, 32 megapixel sensor, and slow motion video capture, 21 minutes of flight time, 43 mile per hour top speed, and a 3-axis gimbal stabilized camera. Okay. Well, we all know about that. I mean, that's something that, you know, is not, we're not foreign to this. You know, so, and this was on 9 to 5 Toys. They're hooked up with Hey Kesteloo, as far as that is concerned. So, you know, it's real interesting here with this, that, you know, this is coming on the heels of this announcement tonight, and it's also coming on the heels of what's coming up, what we all believe is coming up next month from DJI, as far as that's concerned. You know, so this is some news. This is some significant news. I mean, because to offer this at $549, I think it's pretty incredible. I really do. I think, you know, that's an incredible deal. I mean, if you're looking to get the Mavic Air right now, I mean, how can you say no to that? Marcus is in the house. How are you, my friend?
Not too bad, Bill. How about yourself?
Well, you know, Google Hangouts was having a tizzy, and it finally righted itself. So we're back and going and strong here. So, all right, Marcus, your thoughts on, I just talked about the Mavic Air being on sale. I know you and Ron had saw this. What do you think about this at $549?
Yeah, isn't that something? And I can't remember what the store was he showed it to, but also he said that Target has it, and you can pick it up in store for $5. That's just phenomenal, and that is a piece of the puzzle that fits right in with what you were telling us the other day, Bill. We saw the same thing with the Spark a month or two ago, right? Right. So they're moving out inventory, and they're trying to clean up old stock. And yeah, then I think you're right on the money. We're looking at a Spark 2 that will replace, and who knows if it'll even be called the Spark 2, but it will replace both the Spark and the Mavic Air, and fit in someplace in between there, hopefully at a very competitive price.
Yeah, that's, you know, it really kind of, you know, coming on the heels of you know, of this sale and them just doing this. I mean, the price is incredible. You know, if when you look at it for the features that you're getting, I mean, it's really fantastic.
Sorry, Bill, I lost you there for a second.
No. There we go. Okay, there we are. I'm back. You know, it's really kind of fantastic. And I'm sorry, I'm having a problem getting the chat up right now, so that's why I'm not acknowledging people in the chat. I was just trying to do that. And
that's what I was looking at too, Bill, and I don't see it either, so I don't know what's going on. So
that's probably down. I did see 43 people were watching, so that's good. So those of you in the chat, you know, I'm sorry. I can't acknowledge you because I can't see you, but thank you all for showing up tonight. So, I mean, this is really, you know, this is really kind of a good bellwether, you know, and I know a lot of people, and we're going to talk about this here in a minute. You know, a lot of people were kind of blasé with when we found out what DJI is going to officially, you know, turn the turn the clock at 10:30 and release tonight. You know, a lot of people are like, meh kind of thing. And, you know, it's not a drone and, you know, all this. And I'm saying, you know, time out here, guys. Okay. You know, number one, DJI can put out whatever they want to. They're a company. Okay. And one of the other things that I have to say, because I saw a lot of comments today, there are so many people that were like, you know, all, you know, up in arms about this. You know, DJI does not make mistakes. All right. You know, they research to the nth degree before they put something out. And if there's a segment for it, they're going to do it. Now, you know, want to take everybody back here for a second. You know, I know a little bit about Frank Wang, who's the CEO of DJI. He's very big on education and education for kids and for teens. And, you know, the item that we'll talk about here in a few moments, you know, that's something that's huge. It's absolutely huge in the opportunities it's going to provide. So, you know, what are your thoughts about that, Marcus? You know, before we get into the product, about, you know, people being disappointed that it's not a drone right now.
Well, I mean, I guess I can relate because I got to be honest with you, I was a little disappointed. And but just what you said, what product have we ever seen from DJI that wasn't just a home run? And they put a lot, like you said, they put a lot of marketing and research into whatever they do. So, you know, what I'm going to tell people is hey, let's wait till we see it before we pass judgment. You know, when you told me what you thought the price was going to be, I was a little disappointed. But by the same token, I don't know what the heck the darn thing will do yet. It might be something that, boy, we both just pull out our credit cards and push that button. You know,
it could be. I mean, you know, and I'm going to go ahead and share a screen, and it shows it's a good shot here. Let's see if I can get this.
Yeah.
Okay. So, now this is a good shot here of it's kind of an exploded diagram of everything that comes with it, and it's officially called the DJI RobomasterS S1, and it will retail for $499. And it will be available starting June 12th. Now, the other thing that I heard about this too is currently right now, it's only going to be available in the United States, China, and Japan. It's not going to be available over in Europe or the UK as of right now. So, you know, but this is, I'm going to go ahead and scroll down here. You know, the RobomasterS S1 is most likely aimed at education to get kids interested in robotics and electronics, but it also has some potential for more serious uses too. Remote controlled vehicles with cameras attached have been used for documentary film making for a while now, and this could potentially be a relatively inexpensive option for that sort of thing. So, I mean, you know, it looks like it's going to come really equipped with a lot of things. I mean, and one of the things that I did see here and I'll stop this. You know, one of the things that I did see, there was a link, and I think I sent you a screenshot of it that was live, was accessories for this, and the accessories weren't cheap. Cabling was like $85. Another motor was $180. Some type of a servo or electronic board was like $125. I mean, this is going to be mom and dad are going to have a small bankroll for this, because of all the options that will be available. I mean, it's option heaven for DJI as far as that's concerned.
Well, let me put this to you, Bill. So, you know, you and I both are content creators on YouTube, and we make videos and stuff. Well, I could absolutely see the value of a mobile camera platform that I could use when making my videos, so that I didn't have to try. So one of the things that I run into is having a stationary camera when I'm trying to make a drone video, you know, that I'm talking to that camera, and then I'm also trying to fly the drone, etc. If you could have a automated mobile camera that kept you in frame, the whole time you were working on a video like that, that might be worth $500 to me,
You're right. It opens up a whole realm of possibilities too. In fact, with our drones and most DJI products have some sort of follow me or active track or something like that. And then to have it active track the RoboMaster, and then if you would have the drone say coming down at a different location other than where you took off from, you could catch that on video. Especially if it's going off in a distance, and especially for a lower kind of a flight. It depends, hopefully, that the axis of that gimbal will swing up, maybe like the Anafi, and be able to point up to the sky and be able to catch some different kind of shots. It does open up a whole different realm of possibilities as far as that's concerned.
Yeah, I mean, what if it worked with the Osmo Pocket and as well as the Osmo Action, that you could put on a servo controlled arm of that thing that that could keep you in frame, or like you said, you're filming a drone. Hey, what if you want to keep that drone in frame? That could be a potentially really cool product as far as I'm concerned.
I think you really hit upon a good point. We shouldn't dismiss this as just purely. I mean, you look at what they did on Twitter, and having those little cartoon-like things. I posted that out on my page, and people were kind of dismissive, like right away. Oh, this is just for kids. And you know what? We probably shouldn't go there yet until we see all the specs, until we see what the capabilities are of this. And I think it's going to be more than just an educational thing for young teens and young adults. I think it's probably going to be applicable to tech people like us as well too. And definitely, I mean, looking at the vast array of accessories for this, Marcus, I mean, it was insane what I saw. I mean, there was just a ton of them out there. So this dismissiveness of this, I think we need to take a good close look at this, because again, DJI is not going to enter a market, in a brand new type of a market, because there's really nothing out there like this. If you think about it, they're going to come out with not fully loaded, like we've always said. They always kind of hold something back as far as like software, firmware is concerned for this, but they're going to come out swinging with this, and they're going to come out swinging for the fences and hit a home run.
Well, the other thing you mentioned the other day, and that is the fact that as an educational tool, let's look at what Apple did back in the day, where they got into the schools and they set up a whole generation of kids that wanted Apple products. DJI, when it comes to automation and artificial intelligence, this may be their shot at getting in there and becoming that company.
This is going to put, and you bringing up Apple was a genius there, Marcus, because Steve Jobs, he was incredibly brilliant. I mean, personally, he had a horrible personal life, but boy, when he got to the office, he was all business, and he knew he could see things that people could not see. And I think Frank Wang is that kind of person as well too, and the persons that he surrounds himself with, because he wants to be able to capture a market that nobody has even thought of here. And this is the same with Steve Jobs. Okay, and Ron was talking about it the other night. When he was talking about at the first iPhone. Nobody ever had thought about that before.
Okay, that's a great example. How about the iPod? Same thing. Did anybody ever think of putting their whole music library in a little electronic device? Yeah, Steve Jobs did. So when we see this robot, whatever it may be, it could be one of those kind of moments where the light goes off and you go, wow, I can see where I need that.
Now, the marketing is kind of brilliant here. And the reason I say that is, bringing up, you're bringing up Apple coming into the schools and getting all these kids hooked on Apple products. It will be the same thing here. It will get these kids hooked on DJI. Okay. And the timing could not be better next month to come out with a Spark 2.
Yeah, of course. Well, that's the one we're waiting for, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you just hit the nail right on the head there. I'm pretty excited about that, and I think there's, we can be 99% certain that that's coming. So yeah, that's going to be a lot of fun. But how do we know? You and I both might be talking about the Spark 2 with our little robot next to us with a camera on it, as well. So, awesome.
Well, the possibilities are limitless here with this, because you may be able to get infrared sensors on this, as far as heat detection. You could track your pets around the house. Like I said, you can maybe program it during the day to see where your dog is during the day, kind of a thing. Follow a newborn baby when it's learning to crawl on the floor. It's just go outside, follow birds, follow nature. These kind of things. I mean, there's a lot to this, and there's a lot of possibilities that we haven't even begun to touch. I wish I could get it to program to clean the house. I mean, that is probably my Achilles heel. That's one of the things I don't like doing, but it's a necessary evil. It needs to get done. Ron Brown is in the house.
Holy cow.
There he is.
Sorry, you're probably in the middle of the show. I didn't know whether I should pop it or not.
Yes, please do. Okay. We're talking about DJI Robomaster S1, Ron. And Marcus brought up a great parallel. He talked about how when Apple introduced computers into schools and got the school kids hooked on that, and that was another part of the brilliance of Steve Jobs, him thinking things ahead. And we were kind of saying the same thing here with DJI doing this Robomaster, getting school kids hooked on that, and then getting them hooked on DJI products.
That's true. And let's give credit to Rick Smith. That was kind of Rick Smith's video, right? We talked about the Apple being in the school. So we'll give props to Rick Smith. I think we all saw his video he posted. What was it, last night?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That was a great presentation that he made. But I'm going to give credit to Bill, the drone reviewer, because as I recall, he was the first one to say that I listened to. So,
well, and here's the thing, for me, I'm just excited about this. And, one of the things we talked about, Ron, right before you joined us was, a lot of people are kind of dismissive of I won't use the word dismissive of this, disappointed it's not a drone. I know, I'm disappointed. Marcus is disappointed as well. But to the point like, blah, this is a DJI, ground-based vehicle kind of a thing. So what kind of an attitude? I don't mean to use it in those kind of terms, but, I think we shouldn't be so dismissive of it until we find out exactly what it can do.
I totally agree with you guys. I mean, we can't expect DJI to release a new drone every couple months. It would be pointless or whatever to them, basically making kind of a drone that's not much different from what they already had out. We said we can't hold to that. They have to kind of, they don't have to, but it's good to see them branch out, maybe do something to help out in other ways, like education, helping kids learn to program. I mean, they've had success with the drone community. Now they're paying it forward a little bit and maybe helping with education and helping their goodwill around the world or whatever. But I mean, they're doing something good with some of the money they've made now. That's the way I see it. And I've been busy all day. I'm sorry. I've been moving pack boxes. I haven't really watched all the rover videos. And I haven't read all the articles. So I kind of only know a brief overview of what happened today. You guys are probably more well versed in it. But no, I think it's a good thing. And I mean, I'm not disappointed. So what do you think, Marcus?
One of the things, I'll let Marcus, I'll let you go ahead.
Okay,
I just want to let Ron know, everything that we're hearing is it's going to be $499, Ron. And, you know, one of the things, somebody actually found a live link to the accessories out on DJI's site. And most of the accessories are $85 and up, including motors and wires and switches and relays and circuit boards and all this kind of stuff. So, I mean, it's, you know, it's accessory heaven for DJI, because, you know, as people find out what they can do with this, they'll end up buying more accessories with them. Right. Go ahead, Marcus.
Well, let me interject real fast. Plus, too, this is the right timing, because you know, schools have to buy stuff way ahead of time. So this is probably the time of year where people are making school budgets up, you know, would budget for something like that. And we think $499 sounds high, but I mean, for like an educational type of thing, it's not really that high. Like the price of school books, you know, are through the roof. If they, sorry, I don't have any young children or grandchildren, if they still read books in school or whatever. But, you know, so the $499 is not out of line with a price of educational stuff. So go ahead, Marcus.
Okay, so let me back this up a little bit. So I'm retired, and mostly I make my living as an investor now. And one of the keys to my success has been secular changes in our economy and in our way of life. And by that, I mean trends. So I'm going to name off 3 things here. We're moving right now into 5G with cellular. We're moving into artificial intelligence more and more, and that is way more than a self-driving car. That's your refrigerator, your microwave, virtually everything you do and see. So all of that, this feeds into exactly that. So if you're trying to get those that next generation into identifying your products with those kind of changes in our society, bound to be a winner. And you know, I guess when DJI becomes publicly traded, it's probably might be a stock that I'd be interested in.
Good points. And you know, also you make a good point about, you know, the world we live in now with 5G and everything. And our friend Ken Dono made a good point in one of his videos, recent videos, or maybe not that recent, but last couple of months, about how DJI's that kind of had the curve. You know, my drone has optical avoidance, but my car doesn't. So you know, my Phantom, you know, my Mavic 2 is a lot smarter device than my car is.
Well, all of my cars have obstacle avoidance. But my car, you'll be backing up, and if you don't see something there, it'll slam on the brakes so fast it'll make your head spin. And
I'm going to go ahead. I was able to finally get the chat up here. I'm going to welcome some people because we haven't done that at all. Family of Tech is here. Alec Thinds is here. I'm sorry, Alec, if I mispronounced your name. Steve Carpenter, Chris Hope, Whizbang99, Mike Roche, Bob Dozier, Tim Kemp, Ray Bob's Antics. Let's see who else. Joe's Drone Life. Joe's in the house. Let's see who else. Joseph Reese's. And again, I'm sorry if I mispronounced your name, Joseph. 77777. Carlos is here. Stephen Ewing. Chris Barnes. Okay, I just wanted to go ahead and do that. It's interesting you guys bring that up because I want to talk about something for a second. You know, with my car, I had a 2015 Highlander, brand new. Okay, and it was the first model year. They had switched body styles with this. Toyota had done that, and you know, it's electronic out to the hilt. I mean, and it had that. You know, if I would go around a curve too fast, it would brake automatically. All right, it would automatically just kick right in. Well, a very funny, not funny, haha thing, but a very funny thing happened when I parked the car, put it in park. All right, I'm getting out of the car. And next thing I know, I'm hearing the garage door hitting the car. And I'm like, what's going on here? And then next thing I know, my Highlander is slowly rolling back and out and down the driveway. Okay. Oh. Now, mind you, I put it in park. All right. Mm-hmm. So I went up like this and with my left leg and I tried to brace up against the door. and the house across the street was still being built. So I yelled for those guys, can you help me? And about 6 of them came out right away, and they were able to stop it because it wasn't going real fast. And I got it back up in the garage, and they're like, what happened? And I said, look where the gear is. And they all saw that, and it was in park. And Marcus probably knows this, and I don't know if you know this or not, Ron, but it's all, transmissions back in the day used to have linkage, all right, in the 60s and 70s, maybe 80s, I'm not sure. But then there was a point in time they went to all electronic transmission where, there is no linkage with it. So you can have it up in park, but that doesn't necessarily mean the car's not in gear. Well, that's what ended up happening with it. I had a big fight with them. I ended up trading it in and all that stuff. And I ended up tearing my calf muscle on my lower left leg, and had all kind of wonderful issues with that. So, but let's move on. We're kind of getting off gear here. But no, this artificial intelligence thing, I think you guys hit on something here with this. Being able to program something like this, it really struck home with me when I learned a computer language for the first time. I was a senior in high school back in 1976, and I learned the basic language, and it was really neat to be able to do some things and have some commands and have it do this. And I was just fascinated, and that's how I ended up getting into computers. And it's the same thing. It's going to be fascinating for a lot of young people. They'll be able to program some commands into it, and they'll be able to see results with this. And it's going to be real. It's going to be kind of get them interested in things and get them interested. And think about this too. It can also help to get people interested maybe in engineering, and it could help. Who knows? Maybe they want to work for DJI someday,
As we mentioned Saturday night, I believe the Tello was actually their first programmable device, even though the Tello sort of arrived, but the Tello was also programmable.
That's very true, Ron. That's an excellent point. I mean, and it was very easily programmable from what I saw. I mean, these aren't, and it's going to be the same thing with this. I believe it's going to be very easy to program, and it's not going to be something that's going to be very complex and take hundreds of lines to be able to do this. It's going to be very simple, very straightforward to be able to do that.
Maybe Marcus can program his Tello to, when he's doing a drone review, that the Tello can fly around and get all the B-roll for him.
Well, I don't know. It doesn't have a stabilized camera, but close enough.
It has a electronic image.
It does better than what you would think. It is amazing. Hey, let me ask you guys, what do you think that this thing will be a fully assembled product or a kit?
Oh, good question.
That is a good question. I mean, looking at that diagram that I had up, and let's go, you know what? Let me go back to that here. I still have that up on my other screen here. Let's go ahead and share that for everybody now, because I don't know if everybody, there's been a lot of pictures of it out during the day, but I want to go ahead and share this again here. All right. And my thinking, what you guys just said, I think this is what you get when it comes. I don't think it's fully assembled. I think part of the challenge of this is being able to put this together. Part of the intrigue and the, I don't know, mystery, if you want to work at it that way. That's just my thoughts. I mean, this way, when you're able to put it together, you can understand how things work. And, seeing this exploded diagram, if you will, of all the parts that are in it, yeah, I think it's going to come. I'm just swinging at the fences with this. What do you guys think? Well,
plus I'm willing to bet there'll be modules, and you'll attach different modules to do different things. And who knows what that first $499 is going to buy you? Is that just going to be the basic chassis, and then you add on a camera module or whatever, infrared or whatever else they happen to come with, or a robotic arm or something like that? That's probably a pretty good revenue stream for the folks at DJI.
My thoughts are, if I get this, I'm going to have to get my twin nieces are 10 years old. They're going to have to come over and put this together for me.
Yeah, you might be you might be right on that, Ron. That's for sure. I mean, you know, one of who was it? Bob Dozier said plug and play. You know, which is another interesting possibility. You know, because you know, I think one of the things that DJI wants to do here is they want to make it so it's not difficult. They don't want for people to get frustrated. You know how easy, and I'll give an example here, okay? The best example I think all three of us can relate to is the golden egg. How frustrating that thing is to fly, all right? I mean,
is that programmable, Bill, the golden egg?
Well, you know what I was thinking? I was thinking, you know, if it shoots those soft Nerf missiles, the new Robomaster, maybe we can program it to go after the golden egg.
Oh, that'd be classic.
It can never get the golden egg because the golden egg flies so erratically. It can never figure out its flight pattern.
Yeah, it's so erratic. It doesn't. It would never hit it. It would always miss.
Yeah. So who knows? This thing could have radar on it, LiDAR on it. You know, I mean, who knows what you'll be able to program the thing to do? So it could really be. You know, you made me think of that when you were talking about tracking the golden egg. How the heck do we know how sophisticated the darn thing could be? It could have tracking software that might be able to do that.
You know, see, that's the beautiful thing with this is, you know, there's going to be so much in terms of options and so much in terms of abilities and capabilities with this. The sky's pretty much going to be the limit. So you know, as far as bang for your buck, I think there's going to be a lot of bang for the buck here. And I think, again, you know, I think I want to caution people, and I think this is something that's huge. Steve Carpenter said it's DJI's version of Lego on steroids. Okay. You know, I want to caution people, you know, don't dismiss this as something that is just for teens or, you know, young teens. You know, this is something that may have some usefulness for you. Definitely, you want to wait until this comes out. Check out the specifications. Watch some reviews on this. You know what's, and here's a funny thing, and I'm going to bring this up with you two, okay? You know, it's great when Rick Smith goes out there and he's not under NDA and he can talk his head off, okay? That's Rick Unleashed, all right? Rick, if you're watching tonight, I absolutely love you. Any way we get you, Rick, we really enjoy watching you, but having you unleashed is absolutely great, and your video was fantastic. All three of us give a hearty thumbs up to it, you know. But you know, hearing him on this in the speculation and things I thought was absolutely fantastic with that. You know, as far as that's concerned.
Bill, I got a question for you, and I mean, I know you don't know the answer, but just what your opinion is at like 10:45 tonight. If we refresh the DJI website, do you think that not only the rover will be there, but will be a buy button?
Oh, at 10:30 tonight. Yeah, they already said that article that I just showed you that it will be available. It'll start shipping on June the 12th, which is tomorrow. I mean, it's that fast. I mean, it's going to be like the Osmo Action was, because I ordered the Osmo Action at 9 a.m. I had now, you know, and Marcus may remember this, you know, when ordering the Mavic 2s, it took a while to actually get the shipping confirmation and everything. I got my shipping confirmation before 9:20 a.m. that it had already shipped. I mean, you know, they were like really on the spot with this. And I expect the same thing with this. I think they have enough in stock here that it's gonna jump out. Now, what I wanted to say was, you know, one of the things that I found very strange is I haven't heard of many people that may have gotten this. You know, we know Rick Smith didn't get it. It's unknown about Kelly Shores because Kelly's on vacation over in Germany, in Switzerland right now. So we may see a video from him tonight at 10:30 on it. But it's kind of unusual because usually you hear some chatter about, you know, something coming out and having a video coming out on this. And when the product's released, and, you know, there were a number of people that were given the Osmo Action and came out with videos when it was released. Haven't heard anything about this. What do you guys think about that?
Well, here's what could be. So there's a lot of cameras out there. So people are used to cameras and drones. I would be willing to bet two things. DJI wanted to keep it closely held, right? They didn't want leaks to get out. Of course, obviously they already have. But B, they probably wanted to present the narrative for it. They didn't want maybe reviewers that didn't have it completely understand it to present a view of it. They probably wanted to control that.
Marcus makes some good points, and I feel that this is right what we were saying. I think because this is maybe meant for the educational market more than the consumer market, that you want to fuel the fires of the instant reviews and the good early feedback on a consumer product like a Mavic something or another. But on an educational product, it's a whole different thing. You don't really need a million YouTube reviews right away. It's just a whole different market you're aiming at. So again, I think this is more of an education or specialty market, not necessarily a consumer market. And also, if I do happen to find about $500 laying around in one of these boxes I'm unpacking today, Bill, I don't know if I should spend it on this new Rover or I should go over to Target and get that Mavic Air for $549.
Well, that Mavic Air is awful tempting. I'll tell you that. I mean, if that kind of a price, I mean, if you're looking for a Mavic Air right now, I would not hesitate for a second. I wouldn't walk. I'd run over to your local Target and get one. I mean, it's, you gotta remember though, you got to put up with the noise or get the master screw props. But if you do that, I think you'll end up having a good bird. I mean, as far as being able to get some great images from it. I mean, my time with it, I mean, I had a couple of weeks with the Mavic Air when I tested it, and I thought it was great as far as that was concerned. My big takeaway number one was that doggone sound. The other one, the battery life. You got about 18 minutes. It says it's rated for 21. You get about 18 with it. So,
let me pile onto that, Bill. So
sure.
I had it for about 6 months or so, I guess. When the Mavic 2 came out is when I sold mine. But it was a phenomenal product. And so the only gripe I had, and I guess you're right about the airtime a little bit, but the noise that the props made was probably the big one. But if you were in the market today, so would you spend $499 on a FIMI X8 SE or spend another $50 and get a Mavic Air? I mean, for me, be a no-brainer. And Ron and I were talking earlier, even the Anafi. So the Anafi at it's back up to $520 for a refurbished version. Gosh, I love, as much as I love the Anafi, I think I'd buy that Mavic Air at $549 any day of the week, a brand new one with a factory warranty and everything that goes with that. So to me, at $549, that is the best buy for a camera drone that there is, period, right now.
Now, what this tells me is, Bill, you theorized just recently that the Mavic Air could be, and end of the line. And to me, again, Target basically unloading this thing at $549 tells me you were right, Bill.
Ron, the more I think about it, the more this is just absolutely making sense. You think about some things, and I don't know if it was either you, Ron, or Marcus. I think, Billy was, when Billy was on your show, you told him about the Spark 2, so no way. And then one of you, I forget who.
Yeah, I told you this. Yeah.
Yeah. You were telling me this.
Once Marcus told him that it was no longer available for sale on the site, new or refurb, Billy went and checked or whatever. And he said, you guys are right. And he stopped his theory right then and there.
It did stop him right in his tracks. It did.
Yeah. This makes it makes a whole lot of sense. And I got a lot of flack. I always get a lot of flack when I come out with these. I call them observation videos. A lot of people call them speculation. But and I won't get into that. But one of the things, if you really think about it from a business perspective, all right, and where things are in what's going on and everything, all right, the Spark has been a better seller than the Mavic Air. I believe that they were disappointed with the Mavic Air sales. All right, I thought that they thought, because it had the Mavic name, that it was going to instantly attract people to it, and that it was going to give you the same type of experience that the Mavic Pro, the original Mavic Pro Classic, did. And when it didn't, I think people were disappointed in that. And, you know, conversely, the Spark, you know, it had no benchmark. It had nothing really to compare to in that segment, in that price range at that point in time when it came out back in 2017. It really was something that was kind of, you know, all on its own. And it really, it filled a void there as far as a drone void is concerned, you know. And now, you know, Hubsan and, you know, Fimi come out with these two drones, and, you know, the Anafi comes out, you know, and it draws some attention to this price range here. So with all that being said, you know, they want to be able to capture a market. Now, I talked to somebody who, you know, knows of Frank Wang, you know, and one of the things, when he enters a market, he wants to dominate the market. He doesn't want to just say, you know, we're just going to enter it. We want to be number one, you know, like Steve Jobs would say, you know, the iPhone, you know, we want to be number one. It's the same thing here. And I think that's what they're going to do with this. I think you're going to see a Spark 2 Classic, you know, like what we see right now, but it's going to be, as Drone DJ had talked about, as Hey Kestelou talked about, you know, the increased runtime, having obviously the 4K with the 3-axis gimbal on it, you know, some tweaks here and there, not a lot to keep it at the same kind of a price point. And then you're going to see a Spark 2 Pro, you know, that's really going to be your Mavic Air. It's going to have, it's going to have quieter ESCs, new props, more runtime, maybe OcuSync on it. Who knows? You know, but it's gonna draw that attention back to this drone again, and it's gonna be in that kind of a price point, you know. And I tell you what, for a new Spark 2, you know, Pro, for that kind, you know, for say $799, you know, that's going to attract a lot of attention, you know, especially if it's packed with those features and it provides that kind of reliability that the Spark has provided.
Go ahead, Marcus. You were going to say.
Well, I just had one quick point I wanted to make. I did not know I needed a Spark until Ron Brown posted that deal that I was able to get a screaming deal on one. But once I had that drone, wow, I understood and I got it. And I understood the value of having something that portable and that easy to throw up in the air. It's so casual that you know, even when you pull out your Mavic, you're folding out the arms, you're messing around, you're doing stuff. Shoot, that little Spark, you literally can throw it in the air and, you know, then grab your remote control. You know, you can.
Marcus, I'll say it for you. It's the ultimate park flyer. If you're a park flyer, you know, I'm talking about any epic long distance journeys or whatever. But if you're just the type of guy that likes to go to the park, fly around on a nice day or whatever, the Spark is the ultimate park flyer.
But for vacations, when I went down to Arizona, it was so easy to pack. And the other day I flew it out 1 kilometer. So I mean, heck, that's as far as I would ever want to go with my Mavic. So,
well, you know, when my daughter got married, when I went up to Ohio, I packed it in my bag, okay, on my carry-on, and it was so easy to carry. And then setting up, I mean, it was like, you know, the landing mat took up more space than the drone did, all right, because I brought my landing mat with me, and everybody was like, "Wow!" You know, it was like I was like less than 5 minutes up in the air, going ready to rock and roll, and you know, just the video that I got was just absolutely solid. I mean, it was great.
And you know, a lot of people's big point with the issue with the big Spark though, it didn't have foldable arms, but it's, you know, I mean, the Mavic or any foldable drone is much bigger than the Spark. Once you unfold the arms, the Spark still is to me is a smaller footprint overall than carrying around a foldable drone of the Mavic or even the Xeno size.
Well, you know, one of the things that I do, like if you look behind me, you could probably see it. It's back there. My Mavic 2 is all ready to go. I mean, all I got to do is slap a battery in it and get the smart controller, and it's good to go. So I leave it extended all the time.
In case that sunset comes again, Bill.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, Ron. I want to be able to, you know, jump out there.
Link that sunset video again down below. Everybody needs to see that. You've seen Bill H's sunset video. Run right to the link. Well, don't run right now. Finish your show off, but Right. That's that video. But
in an hour from now, make sure you're on the DJI Grand Opening.
Yeah. So watch it real fast. But listen, Bill, what do you think of this? I think that, you know, what you said about the Mavic, I think DJI, even, you know, Frank Whiting, they figured they want to reserve the Mavic name and brand only for the top of the line drone. They don't want to like associate a lesser drone with the name Mavic. That's only reserved. Look at this case. Look at that great case.
That's small. That's all you're carrying around. And I mean, it's about half the size of a normal, or heck, less than that of a normal briefcase. And
right.
It's so easy to take with you.
But I mean, again, back to the Mavic name. That would be like, okay, Marcus, who owns the Corvette. Chevy would never want a car called the Corvette Light. That was like, you know, only had a 4-cylinder engine in or whatever, but still kind of looked like a Corvette or whatever. And I think by them making the Mavic Air, they kind of took a little shine away from the Mavic name. That, you know, of course the original Mavic Pro, and then, you know, the Mavic 2. That's kind of been their flagship drone since it was invented. And again, calling something a lesser thing a Mavic, I think kind of hurts the branding a little bit. And two, at the price of $799, if anybody came to me, and I've never flown a Mavic Air, but you know, I've seen a million things and you guys have told me about it, I would still advise somebody that either at that, you know, a couple of months ago, that either buy it before the Mavic 2 came out, to get the Mavic 1, you know, get the Mavic 1 Classic, or even get that Autel Evo that were $999, and they had, you know, better flight times, better range, you know, they were just better drones.
I want to interject here. Steve Carpenter just posted in the chat that he knows of a content creator that's going to be posting a video at 10:30 tonight. Ooh. on the RoboMaster, so, and he can't say due to privacy agreement with the creator.
Say no more, Steve.
Yeah, so it's like Ron holding up his Spark 2.
What did you guys see when I was boxing and stuff today? Look what I found. The original box. The original box.
The original box.
What kind of box and company do you think they copied this box and design from?
That I couldn't even begin to guess. How about you, Marcus?
It could be a company that has three initials as their name, would it?
It could be.
Well, so it's not, Ron. It's not just Hubson.
The female.
Yeah. What's the
handle? Even the handle thing is just like it's just like the Mavic 2 handle or whatever.
That's crazy. That is just absolutely crazy.
I made it white on the Femi.
Well, and Bill, since we have what do you call it, precision landing now? Why not, right? We talked about this last night, Bill. I think outside of a DJI product, well, which DJI products have precise landing? The Mavic 1 and 2. Do any other DJI products?
The Phantom does. But the Mavic 2 is just when they did the firmware update, it's just dead on. I mean, every single time with that. The Phantom, not so much, and I think a lot of it is due to the physics of the Phantom. I think, you know, because it just, you know, it's close and it gets on the mat, but it's not 100%. I mean, it's like almost dead on with the Mavic 2, whether the Pro or the Zoom. I mean, landing right in the center of the mat all the time.
We said this may be the only drone out there that has precision landing. It doesn't have downward sensing sensors and downward facing cameras, that somehow they do it without the additional sensors.
Well, yeah, somehow we know what that somehow is, Ron. It's the regular 3-axis gimbal camera. So as it gets to a certain level and it points down, so you can't be taking video and get precision landing at the same time. But the precision landing is fun on the Xeno, because what you see on the FPV is a target comes up and it's looking for that landing pad. It's kind of fun to watch. It's just a gimmick, really, on that.
But guess what, Bill? Remember we had the Hubson drop? Well, now we have the Hubson blue mat. It has to have the blue side of the mat up to work.
I did not see your video that you posted today, Marcus. I'm going to watch it. I was anxious to. I had one of those crazy days. Really didn't even take lunch today at work and just had to work through. We had one of those days at work. But I want to watch that.
Well, let me add this. I will
go ahead, Marcus. I want to get back to Bill a question, but go ahead.
Well, I will probably never use the precision landing on the Xeno because really, practically, it's worthless. Even though sometimes it works, because it's so easy to hand launch and hand catch. It's really just a gimmick on the Xeno.
Bill, I said last night there on Xeno Nation, I believe I never saw a landing pad ever until the Mavic 1 came out. When the Mavic 1 Classic first came out, the sensors, you know, found the pad and landed or whatever, and that's when all of a sudden the landing pad sensation broke out. Do you remember that?
I sure do, because you know I saw a video. It was like right after I got my Mavic Pro Classic. I saw a video out there on on this precision landing. I had not known about. I mean, this was like right after I got it, and how dead on it was, and with the landing pad. And I'm like, you know what? I need to get one of these. And I ended up, I mean, it was that very day after I saw that video, I got on Amazon and chunked my $25 down and had one sent to me. And it was just like, wow, it was just like this epiphany all of a sudden, because, it's like, this is something you didn't realize you needed until you saw that video.
Well, except that the Mavic didn't have the big legs on it like the Phantom drones did. So that is probably another reason that people started buying landing pads. But I wanted to add one more thing, and Bill, you'll remember this, I'm quite sure. I remember when I first got the Mavic Air, the precision landing confused me on it because, there was never, on the original Mavic, it would always ask you, do you want precision landing? The Mavic Air didn't do it. It would just precision land. So
right. And that's, and it was funny because if you've ever watched my video, it's one of my, it's my highest viewed video on my first flight with a Mavic 2. Valerie and I are looking up and it's getting ready to land on the roof. Okay. And I'm like, okay, there's something wrong. I'm like, at first I'm like, I have a crappy video. I can't use this. And then I realized, I said, you know what? It's a problem. And it is something that I can use. And, that option wasn't there like it was on the Mavic Pro, the original Mavic Pro. It wasn't that checkbox that was on there. And I was like, okay, where's the checkbox at? And then I tweaked DJI support, and DJI support finally comes back and says to me, there is no precision landing on it. This is something that we are going to work on. And, I was the catalyst. A lot of people call me the catalyst on getting that taken care of for it. And, and as and I think you guys are well aware, Art, who is handicapped, Mike Roach, there are a lot of people who depend upon precision landing. For us, it's very easy to go over and get the drone wherever it lands, but it's not so for everybody. And, that's one of the things, I kind of have fought that battle for them. And I feel good about it. I feel good that DJI listened to people and got this taken care of, because I went ahead and and I'm trying it with a Phantom 4 Pro, and it's just like, okay, it's like close to the edge of the mat almost every single time. It's just not like the Mavic 2 at all.
See, Bill, I of course I haven't flown my Phantom 4 that much, but I found just the opposite. Man, that thing would smack right in the middle of that landing pad every time. But it could just be luck, But I want to add one more thing. I don't know about when I first got my Mavic 2, I was pretty bummed out that it did not have precision landing, because you look at the bottom of that thing and there's all those sensors, and you go, well, what are all these sensors for? Then if it's not gonna, you would think that would be would have come with it from the.
I don't know if you guys agree, but as good as the Mavic 2 is, and it had to be good because I don't think any other drone ever had to follow up the previous drone that was good. I mean, following up the Mavic Pro, 1 Classic, that was a tough act to follow, Bill.
That was. You're right, Ron. I mean, it was like out of the box for me. It was like nirvana, because I had jet. My previous drone was an Autel X-Star Premium, and the hardware was fine. The software was left a lot to be desired. But out of the box, once I did the firmware updates and downloaded the app and got everything set up, and I had that up I was like, wow, Okay, it just hit me that it was just so much different than the Evo, or not Evo, than the X-Star Premium, but just the feel of it and everything, how precise it was. And getting the video, I was just astounded. Out of the box, I didn't touch a thing. I just hit record, and what I got back, my jaw just dropped. And Valerie's looking at the video with me on my computer, and she's just like, wow, that is incredible video.
Well, Ron has said this before, and it's so true. If we think about what next drone DJI is going to come with, what do they, how do they top the Mavic 2 Pro or Zoom? I mean, it's going to be tough. That thing is so competent as it is. I can't even think of what feature I wish I had on there.
Yeah, that's hard, Marcus. And that's something that I wanted to talk about with you guys. And I think it's a good point that you bring up, has drone technology, and let's just talk DJI, for example, with the Mavic 2, is it at a plateau? Is it something that they can eclipse with this? I mean, what are your guys' thoughts on that? Because you raise up a really good point on this.
Well, Bill, you mentioned on a recent show we did together too that you thought there may be a Mavic 2 coming out that had a 1-inch sensor, and it also would have a zoom, and that would be a great thing. But I would still call that an incremental upgrade to the Mavic 2. It would be the kind of upgrade. If I didn't own a Mavic 2 already, yeah, I would buy that. But I don't know if I would sell my current one just to get the combination of the two, more of an incremental upgrade. So
or interchangeable cameras, maybe, right?
Right. But I mean,
yeah.
I'm a camera shooter. I have interchangeable lenses on my cameras and whatever. And once you go down that road, I mean, you're talking big bucks for these interchangeable lenses, and then you're locked in. Then if Alltel comes out with a showstopper, you can't change brands then because you got all these lenses. You got to stick with DJI forever. That's going down a road that only a professional or somebody that has money to burn would go down. The interchangeable lens.
Well, as far as maybe, and this is just something, food for thought. Now, when the Mavic 2 was originally released, they announced, and I went back and I watched the actual event, and I forget the presenter, Michael. It wasn't Michael Perry, but anyway, Michael was his name, and he said during that presentation is that the cameras would be swappable for a fee, from the Zoom to the Pro and the Pro to the Zoom, if you want to go back for that. But they never actually came out and said what the fee was or what the process is or anything like that. But you go out on YouTube and there are dozens of people that have done that. Now, when you do that, one of the things I want to be able to caution people, I'm not advising you to do that, because when you do that, if your drone's out of warranty, it's still in warranty, you break a wax seal on it, your warranty is gone. So I just want to let you know that if you go ahead and become adventuresome and try to do this kind of a thing, you void your warranty. So, but what I was thinking was DJI may sell something along the lines of a modular camera to be able to put on your Mavic 2 Pro or Zoom that would have both the features, have the Pro capabilities and have the Zoom capabilities on it.
I absolutely, that could absolutely happen. But so if we think about the Spark 2, what it's going to bring to the table, I think, is a compact, easy to launch design. That's
and Bill's already mentioned that he thinks that the Spark 2 will have a zoom capability on it, so that'll kind of bridge the gap too. If you owned a Mavic Pro, Mavic 2 Pro with your 1-inch sensor, doesn't have a zoom, if you would buy like a Spark or whatever, instead of buying another Mavic 2 with a zoom, you would have a zoom capability. Of course, not the level that the Mavic 2 zoom would have, but I mean, again, zoom is one of those things I don't use. Even if I had zoom, I wouldn't use it every time I flew. It's a great feature to have. It could come in really handy, but you don't need it at every flight.
So let me pile on there. I am surprised at how often I use the zoom on the Mavic 2 Zoom. It's one of those things that when you have it, you use it.
I mean, as a photographer, I mean, don't get me wrong, I love my zoom lenses, but lots of times I choose the shoot with a prime lens. You know, it doesn't zoom because the prime lenses are just they're just a little bit sharper. They just take a little bit better image. And now you can get high-end zoom lens. Don't get me wrong, or whatever. But sometimes I just like the look of like a fixed prime lens and whatever, and it forces you to be a better photographer. You zoom with your feet at that point and whatever. Like the drone, you know, like. The Mavic Pro, you know, the Mavic 2 Pro, I zoom with the drone or whatever.
No, you're exactly right. And what you just explained, I think, is exactly the difference between the Mavic 2 Pro and the Mavic 2 Zoom. The Mavic 2 Zoom is for somebody like me that's a little more casual about the photography part. The Pro, like you said, you totally fits you, Ron, because you know what that camera can do. You know what you can do with it. Where, you know, somebody like me, hey, I just want to get a pretty video, you know.
Well, you know, somebody posted in the chat, you know, I want the Zoom to observe wildlife, you know, and I did see a video on that today, and you know, it really it made a big difference because somebody said, you know, they were able to get in and get close up on something, but they were further enough away they didn't scare the wildlife away. I mean, in instances like that, I can see the need for a Zoom.
Guess what, Bill? I have a new drone. I have the Mavic 2 Zoom Lite.
Ah,
It's called the Anafi.
The Anafi.
Mark, we're waiting for Marcus's video where he takes the Mavic 2 Zoom out and the Anafi out, and he compares the zoom lenses.
You know, you mentioned that the other day. That's a great idea. You know what I was thinking about though for a video is a kind of a race, kind of a speed test between the Mavic 2 and the Fimi X8 SE. I think I'm going to take those out there and
drag
the top speed. Maybe take the Phantom 4 out there too. Although, well, yeah, I bet you the Phantom 4 is probably just as fast. Don't you think, Bill?
I think so. Yeah, I definitely think so.
Hey, so we were talking more plans last night on going to Spin Up, Bill. Who was it say they were going in the chat last night in Xeno Nation? Marcus?
Oh gosh,
I think two guys mentioned they may be going.
Yeah, they did, and yeah, you put me on the spot, Ron.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I don't know. I feel bad because I don't remember.
Bill, we may have to rent a wing out of a local hotel. We'll all stay in the same. We'll get a whole floor. Maybe we can get like a like a Bill the Drone Reviewer or Xeno Nation discount.
Well, you know, we're gonna have to set up. We're gonna have to have tables and autograph tables and get business cards and be able to hand them out.
Oh, well, we'll have a Xeno Nation booth and we will autograph your Xeno if you bring it over.
Oh, FSU Grad 03 said he was one of the guys. He plans on going. He just mentioned that in the chat.
If he graduated from Florida State University, I wonder if he still lives in Florida. He could fly. He could fly to Bill the Drone Reviewer corporate jet leaving Tampa.
Bill the Drone Reviewer corporate jet. Maybe. Well, my corporate jet is Southwest.
I was gonna say also known as Southwest.
Also known as Southwest with the less than stellar Wi-Fi.
With fast and free internet. But what do you call it? Like T3 line internet speeds.
Oh, he lives in Arkansas right now.
Okay.
FSU Grad 03. Okay.
Isn't Arkansas right next to Texas?
Yeah, it is. But it's probably a good drive where Austin is, I guess. Well, it's nice is there's a direct flight from Tampa here to Austin on Southwest, so that's a good thing.
Maybe I'll fly to Tampa and fly in the same flight with you.
There you go.
Yeah, I have to fly to Salt Lake and then down. So, but that's no big deal. I'm excited about it, and my wife is on board, and so yeah, if I can get her out to fly that Spark around a little bit, so right.
You see, I've been trying to get Valerie to do that for a long time, in slowly but surely working on that. It's one of those things, you know, it takes, and I would take her over to the open field. I wouldn't do it behind the house because it takes some skill when you're flying out of my backyard here.
Don't let the initial flight be over the lake there.
Oh no. Well, here's a funny story, and I don't know if I shared this with you guys. We had her family over for Easter. What was it, 2 years ago? Yeah, 2 years ago. And it was a Mavic Pro Classic, and I was demonstrating how to fly. Now, I really wasn't paying attention to what I was doing. I said, oh, yeah, it has a feature where it'll return to home and land automatically. So I hit the button, and then Valerie's nephew says, hey, Bill, I think it's about 10 feet over the lake right now. I hit the land button instead of return to home.
Oh my God.
When I recovered a throttle up very quickly and got out of that situation here.
Oh wow. Oh
yeah.
Your heart was in your throat.
That was one of those kind of situations here. Well, I want to kind of wrap things up and kind of get some final thoughts from both of you guys. First of all, let's go with this. Let's go with final thoughts on this Mavic Air sale that's in Target. Ron, Marcus, and then myself, and then we'll talk about the we'll talk about the DJI Robomaster. So either one of you guys go for it.
Okay, so I think, and thank you, Ron, for posting those both of those leads on the Mavic Air, because I'm really tickled that we're able to bring that to people's attention, and hopefully some people that are looking for stepping up or whatever, or just have wanted one, will take advantage.
That'd be perfect for Better Off with a Drone, who's in need of a drone right now.
That's absolutely true. But that said, I think that really seals the deal. We saw the same thing with the Spark. Now we're seeing it with the Air. Bill, the drone reviewer, predicted this. It's a Spark 2, and it's going to replace both the Spark and the Mavic Air. Ron?
I just think it's a great time to be in search of buying a drone, because and not have an unlimited budget. If you have an unlimited budget, it's always a great time to buy a drone. Or I almost stole Bill's line. It's a great day to fly. Mine was it's a great day to buy a drone. But if you don't have if you only have $600 to spend on a drone, you could now get a Mavic Air, or you could get an Anafi, or you could get a Fimi A3 or X8. All of those would range anywhere from, we'll say, $549 down to
$250 for that A3.
Yeah, we'll take the A3 out and just say the $549 down to $399, depending on what sales you catch. But if you didn't even have $300 and you wanted to get a video drone, GPS video drone with a 2 or 3x gimbal, for under $300, you could have your choice of 2 drones that take decent video and fly good. So it's an amazing time to be a drone flyer, really, with these these affordable drones out there. And I realize the Mavic Air is only affordable because it looks like it's end of line. But hey, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if they discontinue that drone tomorrow. That is going to be a good drone for years to come. If you buy it, it doesn't, eventually you won't be able to buy batteries for it, but by the time you'll have something else anyways. So, but that's my thoughts on that. And the thoughts on this rover is, I haven't had time to look at everything and read all the information. But I will look at things tonight. And I definitely think it's an interesting product. Who this product's for, I don't really know yet. So that's still to be determined. But, again, I'm glad that they're reaching out. They're doing something a little different. Maybe, education market, help program for kids. If that's what they're doing, I think that's a good way to go. And, again, I'm excited to see what happens. And, again, sure, I want a Spark 2, but we knew it wasn't going to be a Spark 2. And a Spark 2, hopefully it still comes in summer. I don't know. We don't have any inside information or anything like that, just our speculation. But, hopefully it's here by July. So I'm going to throw it back to Bill H here to wrap up on the night and give us some final thoughts.
Well, I'm going to kick it back to Marcus so he can give us some thoughts on the Robomaster here. But first of all, on the Mavic Air, thanks guys for finding that. That's an absolutely incredible deal. For $549 to be able to get something that was, you know, saving $250 on that is absolutely great. And even like Ron said, even if it is end of life, it's going to be a great drone for years to come. So if you're in the market, don't hesitate. If you're looking for a great 4K 3-axis gimbal drone with, you know, at least 20 minutes of flight time, you know, having a lot of obstacle avoidance features and so forth, go for it. Don't hesitate. It is a great drone. Even with, you know, you got to put up with the noise, but with that, you know, there are options to be able to help you with that. As far as, you know, the RoboMaster is concerned, I'm going to let Marcus, you know, give us his thoughts on that, and then I'll close with that. So go ahead, Marcus.
Well, I'll be quick, Bill. So with regard to the RoboMaster, what I'm going to ask people to do is keep an open mind. So we know a little bit about it, but we don't know the whole story yet. You know, obviously it's going to be an educational base, but we don't know everything. Like Bill the Drone Reviewer said, when does DJI come out with anything that isn't well researched and is a home run? So hey, we're going to know in about 36 minutes here, and you never know, I might melt my credit card.
Hit that buy button, Marcus.
When they come out with the Spark 2, you know, it's going to be who's going to have the fastest draw in the West as far as whipping out the credit card.
My money's on Marcus.
Three of us.
My money's on Marcus.
I think, yeah, my money's on Marcus too. I think it's going to be a photo finish, but I think you're going to see that red Corvette of Marcus is just edging us out, Ron. I think that's how that's going to be. I mean, it's going to just be one of those. So
gotta have the horsepower.
Yeah. So my thoughts on the RoboMaster, you know, first of all, you know, let's wait for the announcement here, the official announcement. You know, we've seen pictures, we've heard prices, you know, we're hearing $499 on this. Let's wait. Let's digest some of this information, you know, and we'll revisit this. You know, Ron and Marcus and I will have another panel on this, and we'll definitely talk and, you know, present our thoughts on it after we've had some time to digest all this information. You know, and the other thing is, don't dismiss it at face value. Don't dismiss it like this is just something that's going to be for educational purposes or for young teens or teens. You know, this could be applicable for yourself. You know, one of the greatest things, you know, on this earth is constantly learning. And I think, you know, if we put ourselves in a position, I know, you know, Ron and Marcus and I, you know, we constantly learn about our drones. We constantly want to be able to access the features. We constantly want to be able to do, you know, different things with them. And we learn by doing, and we learn by observing, and we learn by, you know, going out there and putting the pedal to the metal, so to speak. And I think that's the same with this RoboMaster S1. You know, there's going to be a lot of learning involved with this, and to see what its capabilities. I think it's going to have unbelievable capabilities. I think it's going to be something that's going to be groundbreaking. It's going to be something that's going to be new, so new. It's Frank Wang is going to create a market for something like this, and I think people are going to get on board. And that's why I believe, you know, at this point, it's a limited distribution just in the United States, China, and Japan at this point. And then it's probably going to be opened up to the rest of the world. So I think those are kind of my thoughts on that. You know, let's give it some time. Let's digest it. It looks very interesting. And it looks like it could be for more than just, like I said, teens and preteens. So let's take a look at it like that. I want to thank my esteemed colleagues tonight. And I say that not in joking and not with a big smile on my face, but I really mean it. I really value Ron. I really value Marcus, their opinions. They're very knowledgeable. They're excellent with tech. And that's why I have them on the show. It's kind of like regular co-hosts because they provide great feedback. They provide great, you know, they ask great questions of me as well. And I really appreciate that to both of you guys. I want to thank both of you for that.
You're welcome, Bill. And thank you for helping us getting started with Xeno Nation. It was you and Bill Thomas that encouraged us to, you know, get Xeno Nation up and running. And I want to thank both of you really for getting Marcus and I going over their own channel.
Marcus, you're fantastic. Thank you for all you do as well too.
Thank you very much. Yeah, it's my pleasure. It's always a treat to get to be on Rotor Talk Live.
Well, I want to thank everybody that joined the chat. And I want to also thank everybody for hanging in there tonight, because Google Hangouts had some serious issues. I had tried for over an hour to get on and was finally able to get on, you know, when we did. So this is why I went through an extended broadcast. We're about, you know, we're less than right around 32 minutes from 10:30 Eastern, which is the time it will be on the website. And per Steve Carpenter, there will be a video out there as well. Digest all this information is what I want to tell everybody. You know, take it in, you know, let's see what it is. And, you know, don't have what I would call a knee-jerk reaction to something like this. You know, look at this in the long run and the good that it can do, you know, not only educationally wise, but maybe for us as well. There may be a market for all of us. You know, anytime, you know, you can, like I said, anytime you can get your brain working and to be able to do things, I think it's fantastic. So again, thanks to my panel. Thanks to all that joined the chat tonight. And remember, it's a great day to fly, everybody.
Great day.
Until next time. Thank you, guys.